Action.
Marlene, where did you get this jumbo butt bucket from?
What's the name of this place?
Did you get it from Essential Hemp?
Yes, that's it. Essential.
You know there's a movement growing with these jumbo butt buckets. You know, at first my cigarettes were just flying everywhere between the cracks in my car. My wife would find them in her bra. I don't even know how. But she's like, you need to go out and get a jumbo butt bucket. And tell us how it's changed your life.
Well, it saves me from the ashes being everywhere. You put it in there and the cigarette goes out.
And nobody has a problem with you saying jumbo butt bucket? It's kind of a taboo thing to say.
Yeah.
You haven't found anybody?
I don't care what people say.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm here with my friend Marlene, and we're here. And welcome to Essential Hemp.
Hi.
Have you seen the jumbo butt bucket?
I own one of those.
Oh, she owns one. You
Yeah.
see how powerful this product is?
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. You can walk in front of there if you want to. Okay. Thank you. So, Marlene, you are from Greensboro, North Carolina.
I am. I was born here.
What can you tell people about the way the city used to be as it is, and compared to what it is today?
Well, it was a lot nicer. There wasn't as many people. People, your neighbors. We didn't even have to have locks on our doors back in the day.
And there's no hemp stores.
No. But when the newspaper, the only time people died was like in a car accident or from old age. They didn't have all these murders and robberies and things like that. So I guess the more population you get, the more it is.
But you've stayed here because, you know, your family's here.
Yes,
Right. And I hear you're a singer. Is this true?
I am. My sister and I sing. We have a duet that we sing at our church, Pinecroft Baptist.
Pinecroft Baptist, okay.
Right.
How long you guys been going there for?
I've been going there since '99. I think Darren's been going there since like '97.
So let me ask you this. Out of all the old TV shows, you know, back in the day, say like Wild Wild West and all that stuff that you grew up on, what was your favorite couple shows that you watched?
Yeah, Wild Wild West is number one, of course. I still love that because Robert Conrad, he looked a lot like my father. So I was lucky my daddy was good looking.
And Wild Wild West, and what else?
Like the Andy Griffith shows, things like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And wasn't there an episode of Andy Griffith where they put a stick of dynamite in a goat's butt?
No, that wasn't what happened. The goat got loose and was eating the dynamite.
Oh,
And so
okay.
they had to lead it out of town so it didn't go boom.
Exploding goats, people. That's what you want to avoid.
That was
right?
I think that was the name of the episode, was the exploding
It was
goat.
Exploding Goat, yeah. And didn't he go on to be like in a show called Matlock, where
Yes,
he was?
he was.
Was that a good
lawyer.
show?
It was. He was a lawyer, and one of my favorite things that he did on that show was he asked these people. The guy said that he was friends, and Andy Griffith said, "Motel friends."
Well, you mean like people who have a romantic relationship are
Yeah,
called
well, he was
motel
basically
friends?
calling them out because they acted like they didn't really even know each other.
Or like I see a song, Motel Friends. We were motel friends. Motel friends. Okay.
Yeah. You
Sorry,
know,
I'm just.
I don't know if anybody noticed it, but Andy Griffith, when he was on Matlock, he always wore a light suit, kind of like the suit that he wore on the Andy Griffith Show. And on the Andy Griffith Show, he always had he wore these like boots, and one of them was always tucked into his shoe. And if you watch Matlock, he did the exact same thing on there.
So you're saying that perhaps it was a parallel reality.
Yeah, I guess.
What if they had
That was just
Matlock
him.
meets Andy Griffith? What do you
Yeah.
think they would do together?
I don't know. Kind of hard to do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's the plot, okay? You have Andy Griffith trying to bust a crime, and he has to team up with a lawyer to find out who stole the little boy
Yeah.
and the goat. Okay, that's my AI kicking in, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think I want to say this before we go, okay? Now this is a really intense question, so I hope you're ready, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so when you were a kid, was it known that you were feared in your high school because they knew that if they messed with you or your sister, you would knock them out?
Well, pretty much.
You were the toughest girls in school.
No, we might not have been the toughest girls in school, but because we were actually very small. I mean, I didn't hit 100 pounds until I was in the 9th grade. So, but we were scrappy as hell.
Yeah. How many fights do you think you got in back in those days?
Mostly the fights I got into was with my sisters.
So you're fighting your own sisters?
Yeah, I only really got into one fight in school, and this girl who had been bullying Darlene, right, because we're twins, and she thought that I was her, and so as I was doing stuff in my locker, she walked past and shoved me into my locker and said, "Why don't you watch where you're going?" So for the next couple of minutes, I was watching where I was going upside her head. And this is the funny part about it. Well, we had this one teacher that come in the door, and so the crowd just kind of broke us up, right? Well, he knew there'd been a fight. He'd seen her because she was all beat up. He took her to the office, and she was saying that Darlene did it, right? But Darlene was in a different hall. She wasn't even in that hall. And this was 7th grade, so I guess the principal didn't realize that, I had a twin. Well, the next day, my social studies teacher also happened to be the pastor's wife at the church that we went to at the time. And she pulled me to the side and she said that she knew that I was the one that was in that fight. I thought, oh shit, I'm in trouble now, right? She said, but I know you was just taking up for your sister, so I'm not going to say a word to anybody.
So you're saying you got in a fight and they thought it was your sister?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? That girl didn't mess with Darlene anymore.
Let me tell you something. If you're in a fight and you're fighting twins, there's a game back in the old days where I believe it's called Double Dragon. And don't you have to fight a set of twins? Now, if you were fighting twins,
We never fought together with anyone.
what if you're like really drunk and you see two of them and it was really just one? Oh, wait, or vice versa. Anyway, I'm just kind of fantasizing about it.
Well, that's
cool.
their problem.
All right. Lastly, okay. The last question I want to ask you is, like, are you enjoying retirement?
I am.
Right. Are you still fighting professionally?
I never fought professionally.
Okay.
I just took Taekwondo for a few years.
I'm just joking with you. Okay, but Taekwondo, that's actually a Korean martial art. Yeah. I used to take it too when I was a kid.
Yeah, I had it. This is another fight that I got into. I forgot about this one. The reason why I took Taekwondo, I was at the park one day, and this guy, we were sitting there talking and stuff, and all of a sudden I got ready to go. He grabbed me and he was trying to, trying to rape me, right? Well, I knew this trick because he was holding me. Punch someone right there, they hit him about twice, they can't hang on. And so he let go and I shoved him, and then we come back at me. I had my bicycle, I took it and I shoved it into his chest as hard as I could, right? And he had on a Hardy's uniform, stupid idiot, right? Well, and he went to work. So as soon as I got back to my work, we called the cops, and we went to that Hardy's, and sure enough, he was there. And so then I had to go downtown and press charges. I got a telephone call a little while after that, asking me if I would drop charges, because he had actually was out on bond because he had raped a 17-year-old in that same neighborhood.
Oh my God.
Right, and they said that if I dropped charges, he was going to plead guilty to raping the little girl, and then that little girl didn't have to get up and testify. So, and he didn't want, because he had already been convicted of something at one time. If he got that one and mine, that would have been what they call the bitch, the habitual, and he'd have gotten life in prison. And his name was Rose Nichols. He must have been pissed because of that name.
Wow.
I wanted to take it out on the world. But yeah, I agreed to drop the charges because,
Right.
I
So
didn't,
the child
so
didn't have to
that-
testify.
she was 17 years old. She didn't have to get up and. Oh, and by the way, they took him to jail, but on the way to the infirmary because I didn't break a rib, but I separated two of them from his sternum.
Wow.
So, yeah, don't mess with me.
I hear you. That's a good story.
Yeah,
All right. Okay, I think
that's good.
we'll call it a conclusion. The jumbo butt.
Yeah, I got some of that.
Yeah.